but it was not the dog.
The wrong dog.
It was the wrong dog.
Not that there's a right dog to go and shoot.
Not
but
once they were chained
Not
up.
the one that bit someone.
I'll ask Elsie.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Rhodes.
Good morning, Mr. McBurney.
How you doing?
I can't call. I'm blessed. I woke up this morning. See
You
another.
did wake up. Me too. So we're on the same footing there. Mr. Rhodes, Mr. Jerome tells me that you are prepared to enter pleas, not just in one, but both your cases now. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Sounds like we have a global resolution, as we call it. Okay. That's 24 SC 006 456 and 25 SC 005 983. There are two different prosecutors involved in the case. And just so you know, it sounds like Ms. Smith, it looks like Ms. Smith, because she's seated here, will be asking you most of the questions. Ms. Reese, who is standing to your left, may have questions for you. She's handling the case involving the cruelty to animals, but it may be she's simply relaying to me what she believes the facts are in that case.
Yes, sir.
Just so you know, there are two different lawyers for the state because your case is within that office. All right? Ms. Smith will put you under oath. Once you're under oath, please answer all the questions truthfully. If at any point you need to speak with Mr. Jerome privately, let me know. And if at any point you have questions, let me know.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Smith.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Rhodes, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give in the matter currently before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can lower your hand. Please state your true, correct, and legal name.
Kyrie Omarion Rhodes.
Are you at this time taking or under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medicine?
No, ma'am.
And is there any medication that you would normally take that you haven't been given today?
No, ma'am.
How old are you and how far have you gone in school?
22 years old, and the beginning of 12th grade year.
Do you have your GED or you
No, sir.
got into your senior year?
I got into my senior year.
Okay.
Are you able to read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that you have the right to plead either guilty or not guilty to these charges? And if you plead not guilty or remain silent, you may receive a jury trial.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you had enough time to speak with your attorney about all of the facts and circumstances known to you regarding the indictment?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you need more time to discuss your case with your attorney?
No.
And are you satisfied with his services?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are you satisfied that your client has a full understanding of this proceeding?
Yes.
Also, do you waive the formal reading of the indictment and any and all defects in the indictment for the purposes of this plea?
Yes.
Mr. Rose, do you remember being arrested on these charges?
Yes, ma'am.
The state is unaware of any outstanding warrants related to these charges. Are you or your attorney aware of any outstanding warrants?
No.
Do you understand that this is a negotiated plea for both cases, which means that the state will recommend to the court a global sentence of 10 years to serve one with the balance probated?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you aware that the court does not have to accept that recommendation and that the court can sentence you to the maximum on each charge and can run those sentences consecutively?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're placed on probation of any kind, you cannot violate any criminal laws of any governmental unit or any special conditions of probation without being subject to revocation for the balance of the sentence?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that this is a guilty plea which is permanently recorded on your criminal history?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you also understand that if you're charged with a crime in the future, that this plea may be used to enhance that sentencing, even on a federal case?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you currently on probation?
No, ma'am.
Are you a United States citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that there may be other adverse or unfavorable consequences as a result of this guilty plea conviction, just as there would be following a conviction from a trial?
Yes,
For
ma'am.
example, your guilty plea may affect your right to vote, the right to hold public office, the right to serve on a jury, the right to obtain a passport, or your ability to obtain employment.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you also understand that by pleading guilty to a felony, you cannot use, receive, possess, transport, or own a firearm? And that if you did, you could be charged with another felony offense?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that you waive any and all defenses, including any mental health defenses, by entering this plea of guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you are giving up the following rights? The right to a trial by jury, the right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself, the right to see and hear the witnesses called to testify against you, the right to the assistance of counsel, either hired by you or court appointed if you cannot afford an attorney, the right to the presumption of innocence, which means that the state must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you're guilty of these charges, the right to testify on your own behalf or remain silent, the right to present other evidence of your own and call your own witnesses, and the right to appeal if convicted of these charges after a trial.
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are you satisfied that your client understands that these are the rights that they'll be waiving by entering this guilty plea?
Yes.
Mr. Rhodes, has anyone forced, threatened, or promised you anything to get you to enter into this guilty plea?
No, ma'am.
As to indictment 24 SC 006456, how do you plead to count 1, driving, fleeing, and attempting to elude? Count 2, theft by receiving stolen property. Count 3, willful obstruction of law enforcement officers. And count 4, driving without a valid license.
Guilty.
Regarding indictment number 25 SC 005983, how do you plead to count 1, aggravated assault, count 2, aggravated cruelty to animals, count 3, possession of a firearm or a knife during the commission?
Hold on one second.
We will be all passing count 4 and 5.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
They're gonna dismiss.
So, in the indictment ending in 983, the state is dismissing count 4 reckless conduct and count 5 discharge of a firearm near a public highway. So the 2 misdemeanors, the state is dismissing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'll just repeat that. As to indictment number 25 SC 005983, how do you plead to count 1, aggravated assault, count 2, aggravated cruelty to animals, and count 3, possession of firearm or knife during the commission of or attempt to commit certain felonies?
Guilty.
Is this guilty plea freely and voluntarily given with full knowledge of the charges against you?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that you do not have a right to appeal from your guilty plea conviction, but if you believe that there has been some type of error, you can apply to the appropriate appellate court to request a discretionary appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that this has to be completed within 30 days from today?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that you have only 4 years from today for a felony charge and 12 months from today for a misdemeanor charge to file a habeas corpus petition challenging the voluntariness of this plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Rose. Your Honor, regarding indictment ending in 6456, if this case were to proceed to trial, the state would show that on February 18th, 2023, around 11:30 p.m., Corporal Brine, that's BYRNE, received a flock hit notification for a stolen white Kia Forte in the area of Washington Road and Desert Drive. That is in Atlanta, Georgia, and also in Fulton County. While the officer was canvassing this area, he did notice that white Kia Forte and initiated a stop based on that flock hit. When the officers put on their lights, the vehicle began to flee and started to drive on the wrong side of the roadway and also down Mount Olive Road. That road had a dead end. So when the car got up on that dead end, the driver, who was identified as the defendant, Kyrie Rhodes, he drove through the gate of the house that was at 3177 Mount Olive Road. At that time, Mr. Rhodes and 3 other occupants of the car got out and started to flee on foot. Mr. Rhodes was found during this foot race, and he was placed under arrest for the charges we have in front of us. The car was confirmed that it was stolen through GCIC, and also that block hit that the officers were able to receive and that's the reason why they pulled over the car. But those are the facts and circumstances regarding the facts in this case. And then, as previously stated, for the charges we have here, there would be a global offer of 10 years to serve 1. Did you want me to break down the sentences for each count?
I think I can do that. Well, but let me make sure. It's a felony for count 1, and then the other 2 are, and count 2, the stolen car, and then 2 misdemeanors.
That's correct.
Okay, got it. No, what I'd like to do now is hear from Ms. Reese about the factual basis for the case ending in 983. And I need you to be near a microphone because Ms. Rivers couldn't hear you. So you can either take a seat in the middle of the prosecution table or that's probably your best bet. Thank you.
Judge, if this case went to trial, the state would expect the evidence to show that on March the 3rd of 2025, East Point Police Department were called to 1420 Pine Avenue in Fulton County regarding a dog being shot. When the officer arrived on the scene, he talked to Akeisha Graham, who is the victim of the ag assault. She told him that she had been inside her house there at 1420 Pine Avenue, and she had two dogs outside in the yard. She heard a commotion going outside, so she went out of the residence and observed one of her dogs outside of the fence. Somehow the dog had gotten out, evidently had bitten someone. So she got that dog and brought it back into the house. Shortly after that, she was confronted in the house by someone that she recognized from the neighborhood who turned out to be the defendant in this case. She didn't know his name, but she knew who he was. She stated that he had come onto the property armed with a firearm, demanding to see the dog that had bitten the other individual. He was declaring that he was there to kill it for attacking his girlfriend. He pointed the firearm at her, and she got scared and ran back in the house, and she heard 3 gunshots. When she later went out in the yard, there was one of her dogs, not the one that had gotten out earlier, but a dog that was chained up in the yard, at least 15 feet from the fence, laying dead on the ground. Police also observed the dog dead on the ground. Officers showed
2 dogs or 1 dog?
1 dog,
Okay,
but it was not the dog.
the wrong dog.
It was the wrong dog.
Not that there's a right dog to go and shoot.
Not
but
once they were chained
Not the
up.
one that bit someone.
So the police showed the victim in this case a photo of the defendant, and she positively identified him as being the one that pointed the gun at her, Judge. Judge, as part of the sentence, there is that possession, which has to be added consecutive
Okay, but in this case, not the other case.
in this
So
case, yes, sir.
I could make the first 2 counts 5 to serve 1, and then the third count 5 consecutive.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
And
understood.
suspended. And the conditions of his probation? Special terms? No, cannot possess any guns or replica of guns. Cannot own, control, or possess any domesticated animals. He has to be gainfully employed. Take parenting classes. Random drug and alcohol screens. GED, I believe he said he had not graduated. He is to stay away from the location of 1420 Pine Avenue and have no contact with the victims Dexter Whitehead and Keisha Graham, at least Dexter owned the dog.
Parenting classes?
Yes, sir, Judge, because there were a lot of children around when he was discharging the gun.
Okay. Got it. Are there people here from Ms. Graham's family who want to be heard? Someone's raising a hand. Or are there people here with Mr. Rhodes?
Yeah, that's Mr. Rhodes' family.
Okay, well, we'll get to that in just a moment.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Reese. Did you have other conditions of probation?
Yes, I failed to mention my apologies.
Okay.
The state is going to be requesting for the defendant to complete an anti-theft course, to complete a defensive driving course, and to maintain gainful employment.
Got it. Okay. And there's no restitution that you're aware of owed to the owner of the Kia?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Ms. Stallworth, criminal history info on Mr. Rhodes, please.
He has 3 cycles, no convictions listed, and 1 FTA in 2025 out of Fulton. Nothing further.
Thank you. Mr. Jerome.
Yes, Your Honor. In terms of the fleeing case, there's nothing that we're gonna say in regards to that. We're just asking that the court accept that plea is negotiated. In terms of the dog case, you've essentially heard the facts. The only additional thing that we'd like to add is that even though the dog was on the leash, Mr. Rhodes didn't know it at the time, and the dog actually came at him. And it was apparently a very long leash that this dog was on. And this is not the first time the dogs have been loose in the neighborhood. And this is not the first time that someone has been bitten by one of their dogs, and they have several dogs. So it's hard to distinguish them individually. Though we felt, anyhow, we believe that this is a reasonable plea in this case. And we just ask that the court accept the plea as negotiated.
Appreciate the context. Is it nonetheless accurate that the dog on a long lead or a short lead was inside a fenced yard into which Mr. Rhodes had entered?
So Mr. Rhodes wasn't in the yard. He was at the gate of the yard, and he was actually arguing with the owner of the dog.
And would that be the gentleman's name I heard, or arguing with Ms. Graham?
No, that's the gentleman. That's her father. So,
Okay.
My understanding is that Ms. Graham he never even saw Ms. Graham. So, but he was arguing with the gentleman that was there, and then the dog was basically running up behind him. And because, they normally have their dogs out without a leash, he was under the impression again that this dog also did not have a leash on him. Though he was in the yard, the dog was only about 5 or 10 feet away from him. So it wasn't as if he shot, across several homes or whatever the case may be. But, and Mr. Rhodes was not in the yard. He was actually standing at the gate. He was standing at the gate speaking to the owner.
But if he had a fence between him and the dog, I guess I'm trying to understand the need to shoot the dog.
The gate was open.
Okay.
Yeah, it was open.
Okay. Got it. Mr. Rhodes, anything you want to add?
Back what he just said, I never had verbal or visible confrontation with Miss Keisha Graham. I only verbally spoke to her father,
That's Mr. Whitehead. Am I remembering the name? Okay.
and
Were you a neighbor? Did you live nearby?
no, I stayed down the street on the other side of the neighborhood.
Okay.
We all just used to play basketball right there next to her driveway. We used to have a basketball goal there.
Okay. When you get out, will you be living close to that household? Do you have a different place to stay?
No, sir. I moved to Union City.
Good. That's going to make a lot of this simpler. But was there more you wanted to say? I don't mean to cut you off, other than you're helping me understand that you were having an exchange with Mr. Whitehead, not with Ms. Graham.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
then when the dog situation happened, it wasn't how she was saying it. I never even got to speak to her until she came out, passing along the threats and whatever, when I had grabbed my baby mom and we was walking up the street to go to the hospital. That's it.
Okay. So when you say baby mama, I might say girlfriend. This is the person who got bit?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And she had to go to the hospital as a result?
Yes, sir. She got bit. The dog bit through and through her breast and bit through a bone in her finger.
Okay. And you're saying that's not the first time people in your neighborhood had unwelcome encounters with one or both of those dogs?
No, sir.
Okay.
His dogs, he have the dogs for the purpose of being protectors or being aggressive, and he don't have a fence to where he can close it. He just pull it up, and his dogs run freely through the yard, so they can burst out whenever. So if you ride past on a scooter or you walk past and the dogs are outside, they can burst out whenever they want to.
Okay. And how many times did you shoot the dog?
That I don't recall.
Okay. But you're not saying you didn't shoot the dog. You're just helping me understand a little bit more why you might have thought that was necessary.
Yes, sir.
Okay. As you think back on it now, what could you do differently if you found yourself with your girlfriend in that situation?
Call law enforcement.
That's an approach that let them deal with it. Because I'll tell you what, if the officer shoots the dog, no one's going to jail. Someone may get sued, but Mr. Rhodes doesn't spend 190 days in jail as a result of that. You have a right to be safe and you have a right to protect your girlfriend. But you got to be careful about how that plays out.
Yes,
And
sir.
it sounds like this is one that The way it broke, it didn't go real well for you. Obviously didn't go well for the dog. Okay, well, I appreciate you articulating that. That was a thoughtful way of presenting it, and you're giving context, you're not blaming the whole world. You did some things and the dog did some things.
Yeah, no, I'm taking full accountability for everything that I
Okay.
did do.
And it sounds like the knucklehead thing that was going on back in 2023, that's just you. You can't blame a dog for that one.
No, sir.
Okay, all right. How many kids do you have?
One right now.
One right now. Like if I were to ask you in 3 months, how many kids would you have?
I say probably. My mom.
He's looking back.
My mama in here. I ain't gonna say that.
Okay. Okay, got it. All right. Well, Mr. Rhodes, I find there's a factual basis for both your cases. I understand better now that I've heard more about the second case, while Mr. Jerome was needing to work harder on your behalf to resolve the case where you discharged a firearm, which is always a risky thing. It's tragic that the dog was hit and killed. The maybe larger concern that a lot of people have is that you're shooting and things are going this way and that way, and maybe Mr. Whitehead gets hit accidentally. You don't mean to do it, but he's saying, "Don't, what are you doing?" And then you hit him in the leg and he bleeds out. And then we're not talking about a cruelty to animals charge. We're talking about 30 years for you or life for you.
Right.
It's just a reason to be super careful when you put your finger on a trigger. Because once that bullet comes out, you don't control what happens. And it goes through Mr. Whitehead instead of that dog. And Mr. Jerome is very good at what he does. He's not that good. We wouldn't be talking about a year or GED. It would be however many kids you have, they're going to watch you grow up down in Reedsville or something like that.
Right.
And I say that not to sound like I don't get it, just so you understand the stakes that are involved when you pull that thing out. And now that you're going to have this sentence, there'll be the double whammy of you'll be a felon and you get caught with a gun just in your car. Your hand doesn't need to be anywhere near it. That's going to be more jail time. So really your gun days are done. Have a baseball bat or something if a dog's coming at you, but no more guns. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I find a factual basis for both your pleas. I find that your pleas are knowing and voluntary, meaning you've understood what we've been talking about and no one is forcing you to enter your pleas. Do you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jerome, can we sign your name, someone in my office sign your name to both indictments?
Yes, Your Honor. And
You have a question.
Yes. So another issue is that he's actually in school. He's not working. So we wanted to see if it could be work or school.
I'll get to that.
All right.
Yeah, when we get to the conditions. But we can sign your name to both indictments.
Yes, you can.
And Ms. Smith, can we sign your name to the indictment ending in 456?
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Reese, can we sign your name to the indictment ending in 983?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and Mr. Rhodes, can we sign your name to both indictments?
Yes, sir.
All right. In the driving a car fast and crashing and running and all that case ending in 456, I'm sentencing you on count 1 to 5 years to serve 1 year with a balance on probation. Count 2 is 5 years to serve, not 5 years to serve, 5 years probated, running consecutive to count 1, and counts 3 and 4 are misdemeanors, and those will both be 12 months to serve. And they'll run concurrently with count 1. So that's 10 to serve 1, balance probated. You'll get credit for the time you've been in, which by my math is 191 days, so over half of the sentence already. Special conditions of your probation in that case, 1 will be get your GED. It sounds like you're already trending in that direction. And then 2, you'll need to complete a defensive driving course.
Yes, sir.
That's it. In the other case, ending in 983, before I sentence you, I forgot to ask Ms. Reese, was there any information that you had from either Ms. Graham or Mr. Whitehead that they wanted me to hear?
No.
Okay, thank you. Your sentence in the second case is 5 years to serve 1 year as to counts 1 and 2. Those will run concurrently with each other. And then the third count has to run consecutively, and it has to be 5 years, but I'll probate that. So that's a total of 10 years to serve 1 year, balance probated. That sentence will run concurrently with your sentence in the other case. Special conditions in the case ending in 983, get your GED. You can have no pets in your household. So if you're living with other people and they had pets, those pets need to not be in the household. This is while you're on probation. It's not forever, but while you're on probation. You need to submit what was the drug and alcohol screen situation? Was there a reason for that? You just seem to be reading a laundry list of stuff. And
The notes Hollenberg left for me, Judge.
Okay.
This is not my case.
all right, I'm not going to include that. Probation's free to do that. If probation's interacting with you, like, this guy is acting a little funny or he smells like weed, they can get you to take a drug test. They have that ability throughout probation. You will need to stay away from both Ms. Graham and Mr. Whitehead. So if you see them somewhere else, I know you live somewhere else now, you got to walk away. And you need to stay away from 1420 Pine Avenue. So if you have family that still lives there, they need to come see you. You can't go back to that street and that neighborhood. And as for the work and school, you need to be either enrolled as a full-time student or working at least 20 hours a week while you're on probation, okay? I think I covered everything. Anything else, Ms. Smith from the state?
Nothing further.
Ms. Reese?
Nothing further.
Mr. Jerome, I think I addressed your concern about, well, wait, if he is in school full-time, how's he going to be working full-time? He doesn't need to. You can work as much as you want, but if you're not working, you better be a full-time student. All right? Any questions about any of that, Mr. Rhodes?
Only question I asked you.
Well, Your Honor, can he serve the remainder of his time? Because he's already been up in for over 7 months. He wants to serve the remainder at the county jail. He doesn't want to be sent to a state facility.
So fair question. I don't control that. My experience is that typically when there's less than 6 months left on a sentence, you stay put. But as you know, because you're living it, the jail is very full. And so the sheriff's team is also looking at who's been sentenced and can we send them somewhere. There's not a whole lot of point sending you to Jackson if you're going to just be there for, I mean, these are all parolable offenses. And so why send you to Jackson for 5 weeks or whatever it might be? I'm not promising you any exit date other than it won't be more than a total of a year, including all the time you've served. So my guess is you'll stay put, but I don't control that.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I
All right. Thank you, Mr. Jerome. That is it for those 2 cases.
Thank you. May I be excused?
Yes.
Hey, thanks for watching this clip from TCF Live. If you enjoyed it, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. And you can join us weekdays live, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific, right here on this channel.